Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for June 26th, 2022. 2022. We've got a lot of great stuff in here. Of course, we have a little bit of Masterpiece, a little bit of Legends Transformers, but a lot of mainline Hasbro. This week was a wild ride for Motu collectors, but I gotta tell you, there's some good deals in clearance. That's actually bad news. Of course, we got some ramen toy updates. Very exciting. I'm excited for every one of these franchises. We're going to talk about all of them. We had a Yo Joe June Instagram video, meaning not much, but the little tidbits in there I will talk about. Hold on. Is Hasbro still making Star Wars? Okay, so Hasbro is still making Star Wars figures for at least this next week, so I guess we'll talk about that and more coming up. As usual, we're going to start with what's going on at Show Z. You can get this X-Transbots Virtus right now for $180. And I want to say a couple things. First of all, I buy almost every Masterpiece Transformer from Show Z, and I magically got $41 in credit because they marked down figures I bought within 30 days of them shipping it to me. So that's really cool. You know, other places just do not do that. Show Z just did that for me and everybody else that buys from them. So something interesting that's incoming, it's coming in stock for about $70. It's the Orange Cat Industry Tekkaman Blade Evil Shinya Abbey model kit. So this is a model kit. You have to put it together. And it's about 9 inches tall, but I thought it looked really cool for about $70. And red quartz, green quartz, and display stands are included as pre-order bonus if you pre-ordered it. So I guess it's too late to pre-order it. But it's not due till late July, but it says incoming. Does look really cool. Does not transform, but it took you to the Gundam site. What else is on Gundam? For $76, you get the Orange Cat Industry Solomon 72 Lee Zia cameo. This is, I would say, an anime girl, and this is not Show Z. It takes you to Gundam, but you can sign in with your Show Z and do all that kind of stuff. Looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. I figure if you're interested, you might want to jump on it. It is a little under the 6-inch scale. It's the 5.91, but probably matches just right. Comes with a couple of interchangeable faces, interchangeable hands, wrist ring, and a display stand. Which brings us into our first of the Masterpiece things I want to talk about. This is called Cyber Era CEO2 Cliffjumper, and this is an interesting Bumblebee movie Cliffjumper. They do have it at Show Z. No price yet. $1 down for a pre-order, which is pretty cool. But it is 8.07 inches tall, a direct copy of Transcraft TC02R, but oversized to an 8-inch scale. Now, this thing is due out in fourth quarter 2022, and there's some sort of a face mask that you can put on it or flip down or whatever. However that works, still looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. It's something I was going to talk about, but Show Z's already got it for pre-order. So next up we have the Dreamstar Toy second release, the DST-01002 High Dive. This looks nice. It looks really cool. I kind of like the way it looks. I'm a Superion fan. And no, I'm not in on this. I'm in on about 53 other toy lines. So I can't buy everything, but it does look amazing. And here's the alt mode. Now, I think it does come with the flight stand, but I can't guarantee it. But it does look really good. It looks really solid. This is kind of a nice, real-world look of this airplane, jet mode. But also, there's a gold-colored version of this floating around. Now, this is not going to go up for sale. This is one of 16. I'm not sure. The translation is extremely confusing what's going on with the gold version, but still looks cool, so I figured I'd show it. Kind of a light week for Masterpiece, but I am in more or less constant contact with Like Toys, and some of the questions out of that Monday video have been sort of answered. And one of the questions was about the hardware and the ratchets and the joints and all that kind of stuff. And Like Toys pointed out to me that they're using pre-existing hardware that was already used in construction. So it's one of those things, the verbiage to me was, the last thing you have to worry about is a joint breaking on this thing. And it was, they're sourcing already pre-made joints, already things that exist made of metal, and then designed around those that they could actually source, which is very interesting and very smart in my opinion. Like, why would you have to make a plastic part when you can already have a metal one that's already pre-made? Why would you have to redesign that? You don't have to. Makes a lot of sense. So the next question was about paint, and I didn't really get it answered, but it went into a whole direction I didn't even conceive of, and it was a color palette choosing. So if you look at this right here on the left, you can kind of see what their original design was, and then they're trying to make it look tuned, and there are some sections that look a little bit like a light gray, and some that look bright white. And bright white will have more or less a pearlescent white, not a bright white. It'll be pearlescent white, and then the grays will have a gray. They want to match it as close to tune accurate as they can, but I don't know if they're going to spray paint on this or it's dye and plastic. Still more information and so many more factors to consider. I'm going to call this masterpiece, but this is question mark. So this is under Unique Toys, and the Unique Toys, they call this their Kirkin. So there's still so much going on with this figure that I don't know, don't understand, but this is what it does transform into. This. And I'm starting to think that, what direction are they going and why are they making this? And I think they want to exist without any problems making their own figures, and it does look cool. Kind of looks like a dragon. It's interesting. It's got some scales on it and stuff. So really cool. I do want every single one of these third-party companies to stick around that's made great figures in the past to keep making great figures in the future. The problem is, when they make their complete own thing, they struggle. Not a lot of Legends news going on out there, but the Magic Square version of Ironhide, the MSB44, is looking really good. I have to say, okay, they destroyed New Age. And even people that are New Age collectors are admitting there are a lot of wins on Magic Square's side. This is one of them. But this, the pictures are more of posability and all that kind of stuff. So it does look pretty good. I really do like this. Again, it's bare bones plastic, a little bit of paint, and I would have liked more paint, and I'd like an EX version, but you're playing Russian roulette. If you don't buy the first one that comes out, they may not make another one, and if they do, it may not be a highly painted one, it might be a recolor. So I don't know what Magic Square is thinking when they don't just say, hey, let's make all these different colors and versions and variations like New Age does. New Age actually is way up front with this. They let you know 15 versions are coming, pick your version, and then it works. But here's the alt mode. We saw it before. I don't think the alt mode's bad. I don't think it's great. I think it's a middle ground, and I'm okay with it because I'm going to display it in bot mode anyway, so I guess I really don't care. Alright, so we got pictures of this New Age Toys David. It's called the HC27C. I literally copied this directly from where I found it. But looking on Show Z, they're calling what I think this is the HC27M. Show Z has it for $65 on pre-order. But I want to kind of make things make sense because New Age does make so many versions. But this does look really good. I am very pleased with the paint on this and the paint application, all that kind of stuff, and the shininess. So I'm thinking this is the M, not the C, but it gets extremely confusing. It still looks great. Here's some posability and kind of an Iron Man superhero stance. Looks pretty good. And then we also have the alt mode, which the alt mode looks great. And so with all of this going on right here, I don't want to mislead anybody to think it is what it is or is not what it is, but I don't think this one even comes with a trailer, which I really commend any company that makes an Optimus Prime and gives you a trailer or trailerless option for half the price. So we're going to go ahead and start in on just the big Hasbro stuff going on. So we've got another recolor of Blur right here, and it looks pretty cool. And this is part of the More Than Meets the Eye Legacy stuff going on. And it shows right here, this is the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection. There's the box. It's going to be another open box. Blur. And I'm warming up to the open box better than the closed box. Here's the alt mode, and the alt mode looks about like what we expect, but the top shows the wheels. So there are a few things different about this. We saw this before. I think we've seen everything before, but whatever. This one right here is Diaclone Burnout, and it's a basically black repaint of skids. Looks pretty cool. So I'm okay with the repaints. And when you make repaints more exclusive and that kind of stuff, that's pretty good. So that works. Here's the alt mode, and again, looks pretty decent. I think skids is okay figure. Repainting it's fine. And making any excuse to repaint it's fine. And maybe I'm not picking it up, somebody else will. It's pretty cool. But here's the box and the packaging for it. And I do kind of like the fact that you can see the figure still. I'm going to have a big rant coming up, so hold out for the rant. So here we go with some character, I don't know, it's like Road Rocker or something like that. So it's like a Fembot, it's a recolor of one of the other ones. Anyway, it's okay, it looks cool, it's interesting, and I'm not going to lie, if you want to get in on another motorcycle that turns into a bot, a Fembot, that works out pretty well. It looks pretty good overall. And I'm pretty sure this transformation is a little bit less bad than I've seen some of the other ones. But there's the packaging, sort of. Looks pretty good. So we're getting to the Diaclone Universe Clampdown. And I gotta say, I got the Clampdown in, I think, Titan Returns. And I thought it was really cool. A white version that is not red alert and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool overall. I will commend that Siege moving into Earthrise, these designs are some of the best Hasbro's done. I mean, they don't really rival Masterpiece, but for mainline for 20, which these are probably like $30 now, they are good figures. They look great in both modes. I'm very impressed. Here's the packaging, and you can still see the figure and all that kind of stuff, but they will be able to order during Walmart Collector Con in July. So I don't know if that's going to be in stores too, but I guess maybe they will. That'll be cool. So now we get to Legacy Con Cosmos. Let me level with you. I talk about everything that I talk about, but this is the best thing Hasbro's shown us in a long time. I might say all of 2022. And it's just a deluxe version of Cosmos that looks amazing. It looks like what you would expect, what I want to go show up to the store and find. But it's not a repaint or a recolor or reuse. It's its own new mold, and it looks fantastic. By the way, I've got all the different iterations they've made in the past, and this one takes the cake. It's the best. But I'm hearing it's packed 1 per case, which is crazy. Like, why not get this thing out there to the masses? Alt mode looks great. I mean, I think I've got like 4 Masterpiece versions to compare it to. I've got a lot. I've got like 8 of these bad boys to compare it to. So this one does look really good. Holds its own against Masterpiece. And holds its own against what's going on with Magic Course Legends and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how well this would compare with Legends, but with Legends being a little bit upscaled in some with Magic Square and all that, I think this might be a good Legends replacement for like $23 instead of $40 or $50. Man, this thing is awesome. Ignore the back there, but this is comparison to their Legends or whatever they called it back in the day. But the Legends scale version they made before, which was okay. It was okay, but in the back of my mind, I knew they'd do better in the future. This is the future. We are now living in the future. They've done better. So here's more pictures of Road Hauler, and now there's pictures floating around of in-hand pictures of Road Hauler. I think I'll just avoid that. But anyway, this thing looks pretty good. I understand that they fixed the grapple tabs that break. Mine did not break because, well, I heard tabs broke, so I was very gentle when inserting them and removing them. So I did not have that problem, so mine are fine. But if you do have a grapple, then Inferno possibly, don't insert those tabs and break them. Here is the alt mode. Looks fine, looks great. Like kind of what you expect if you already got the other two bolts. But I don't know if I'm in on this. I mean, I might be, probably not. Here's that open box packaging, and so all this mess with no plastics probably only going to last a year or two with Hasbro. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to see some sales loss for two or three other reasons. A massive global depression is one. Plastic is number two. We got this one here. I forgot the name. Whatever. Looks cool though. It looks really cool. It's from a different era than G1, and I don't really know, but I'll probably buy it. I mean, it's weird. I don't really care about this figure or character, but I will probably buy it just because it looks cool. And you know, it's one of those things. Get it to me in front of me at a Target or Walmart, something like that. I'll buy it. I'm not going to pre-order it online. So I think these are still the Walmart exclusives, but I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm not going to go out of my way to get it, but if I see it in person, I'll buy it. If I don't, I won't, and that constitutes about 67% of collectors. So this retail distribution issue is going to destroy Hasbro if they can't fix it. Now we get into Scourge. Now, if you think of Scourge as that dude with the pink fingernails, then this is the wrong era for you. Scourge is just a repaint of this Laser Prime, or whatever they call that Author's Prime. And there he is. And here is the box and some dude peeking behind it. That, I mean, is he something? I don't know. Here's the alt mode. I think I got the Titan Returns version of this version of Optimus Prime. So I passed on the Legacy, and I'm passing on this. But if it's for you, get super excited, go buy it. What? More Hasbro? Okay, so they're reissuing this. It's Maverick, and it's the crossover for Top Gun for the movie. But the first one I hear was bad, terrible. But the second one looks like they sort of fixed the cockpit area to look better, and it's got more of a dirty wash to it and all that. Maybe it's better, I don't know. If I can get it for a good price, I mean, I think they were asking like $70 or some stupid price. There's no way I'm buying it for that. Like, I might be in for $30 like I was with the old Time Machine, but not this. We get into some more Red figures. Red Thundercracker looks pretty good, kind of like Starscream, but I actually think the Red design fits Thundercracker better than Starscream. Now we get into this. Oh my gosh. So, I haven't opened a Red figure yet. I don't really see the point or the need to. It doesn't scale with anything I own. Red doesn't scale with anything. From 40 years of collecting, I have nothing to put next to Red. It's its own shelf, if you could get like a 5.7 inch shelf together of all 12 of these figures. But I keep them in the package, and I pull them out and look at them, and I'm like, oh, it's great. Now I'm going to pull it out and look at this. And what are they going to be? 6, 7, 8, 9 paint discrepancies from what the figure actually looks like? I don't know. We also got the Transformers Prime. Take our word for it. It will look like this in the box. Transformers Prime Red figure. And he does have a Matrix. Wait, theoretically, you can't check for yourself. And there's the box! So you really don't know. Come on, that doesn't even look like what we just saw. That doesn't at all look like what we just saw. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Come on, Hasbro. And trying to awaken into looking at Megatron here, I think it looks pretty good. So the Prime series designs lend themselves to Red because they have the angles and all that kind of stuff. So getting to transform into something that makes sense at all is a challenge. So just let's make these strange angle designs look more like the cartoon, and it works. It works better than G1. far better than G1. And the paint scheme and all that kind of stuff looks great. And the box does not. But, I mean, I'm going to complain about this because this is an impediment for me buying it. I barely am in on this. And now I'm out. I'm barely in. I got like a toe in on the Red Series. Now I'm out. So, hope y'all enjoy it. Shattered Glass. This is a Shattered Glass recolor of Wheeljack. Don't know the name. I saw it, but I don't remember, so it's not that big of a deal. Here's the alt mode of Wheeljack in blue for whatever reason, and it looks pretty good. It looks like what I expect of a Wheeljack in a Shattered Glass. And then we get this recolor, this guy, and this was the Trypticon companion that you had to buy separate. Now it's going to be red. So there you go. And it's a weaponizer. There it goes. That's so much fun. Looks great. And in bot mode. So it's funny too, because I think a transformation is actually easier than... Where does all this stuff plug in again? So this is a bunch of stuff going on at once. So let's just show this picture and move on. But Tonkinator is the yellow Devastator in there. A Target exclusive. Yes, it is a yellow Devastator for G1. And another Target exclusive is the Street Fighter 2 mashup. Optimus Prime Ryu versus Megatron Bison action figures. So you can see them in there. And then, what else do we got going on here? We got a Street Fighter 2 mashup, Target exclusive, Autobot Hot Rod Ken versus RC Chun-Li. So, a lot of stuff going on right here. Let's move on to, what, a whole lot more stuff? So we've got this 4-pack for Target exclusive. And I thought this Bumblebee, Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Creatures Collide 4-pack. And I thought, I'm just going to be like, whatever, I'm not in on it. And then I realized something, and I realized something really bad about this set. Not that the set is bad, but you got to spend close to $80 to get a Ransack. I think out of this set, that's what most collectors are going to want. And I expected an individual release. That's kind of when you get this leaked stuff that you see pictures of but have no information. And then now you realize, oh, it's part of a 4-pack. You got to shell out $75, $80, whatever it is going to be, to get the one figure you want that should be $23. And it's frustrating in a way. You get a Gold Bug in there, you get a Sky Wasp, Predacon Scorponok. But at the end of the day, Ransack is the one I want. And it's going to be another one of those strange situations where, do I pay $80 for a $23 figure? Do I try to sell the others and spend the next 5 years trying to sell them? Or do I just give them away as party gifts? So a frustrating situation. Should not be like this, but it is. Alright, so we got in-hand images of the G.I. Joe collaboration with the Megatron, his tank with Baroness in hand, all that good stuff. And this is exactly what I said it would be. It is G.I. Joe first. The his tank looks great. It's kind of got an update to it, but it's Transformers second, or third, or fourth. Now you can look at that and say that looks like Megatron, but all the excess kibble is thrown on the Megatron. It's not a good version of Megatron, but you can tell it is Megatron in a way. With this, we have a Bumblebee coming that turns into an Striker. And this was $90, so after taxes and shipping, you're over $100 on this guy. And that's what he looks like. So, some people are super ultra excited. I would just leave this as a his tank, but I could get a his tank at one point in time for like $12. So, I'm still kind of confused how this is so great. So, lastly with Hasbro, we got some leaks, some information for future waves. We got Legacy Year 2, Voyager Leo Prime, which is sort of a Beast Wars thing in Japan, and Voyager Tarn. We're also getting a Leader Prime Skyquake, don't know much about that. Leader Armada Megatron Core Sludge. Core, so a little Legends version of Sludge. Deluxe Needle Nose, Deluxe Hotshot, Deluxe Junkion, Deluxe Junkion 1. Don't know what that's about. Core Sound Blaster, doesn't surprise me. Repaint of the Soundwave. And of course Slug. So we're going to get all the Dinobots in Core. That's interesting. Will that really happen? And then Velocitron Wave 2, Deluxe Shadow Striker, a Crasher, a Hot Rod, LR2. You know, the name Crasher makes me think GoBots. I'm sure it's not. But what's stopping Hasbro from just banging out a line of GoBots in deluxe scale, $23 a piece, see how it sells, make about 10 characters, let's do it. And then a collaborative of a Project TG2, possibly Maverick reissue, not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, more info. Alright, other stuff going on. Ramen Toy has this picture of Red Goldwing. Now, this was made by somebody other than Ramen Toy, but it's cool because they took the ramen pictures, made it look like something that you would see on a box. Really interesting right there. What's going on with this Red Goldwing project is we have a hyper-articulated mat tracker with an updated helmet and all that kind of stuff, the mask, and the wings are going to be more streamlined and look a lot more like the show. So the doors opening for the wings is a much more streamlined look than what we got with the original toy. So a lot of stuff going on right there. We have in-box pictures of their Quicksilver, which I'm excited about this. They also made the elbows more gray than black. They have almost eliminated the black in all of those to match the silver closer. It's close. And they've listened to the fans. That's pretty cool. The back of the package looks pretty cool also. It's awesome. Officially licensed, all that kind of stuff. Here is, I like this when they show you the production aspect of it. Here's a bin of the parts and they're going to piece them together and make your figure. Here's the arms and all of that. So pretty awesome. Here are also the wings, and that is cool too. So I really like it when they do this kind of stuff. So now getting into some Commanders, 80s Commanders, retro series, all that kind of stuff. From this picture, we've already got the 80s Commanders, the recolors. The left picture of the Traumatizer is actually the land drone, and there's some cool stuff about it. The center part that used to be a missile is just a giant gun. It's partially die-cast metal or some sort of metal, and it can rotate front or back, all that kind of stuff. It has a spring mechanism in it. It's really cool. There's two different versions of this, two color schemes. This is the one I'm going with, though. There's a Toon, or there's this version. I'm going with 4 of this, and probably 1 of the other one. And then on the right is the John Thunder. They call it Apache Commander. Apache Commander is the first of their retro series. Might be the last, though. They might just quit on retro scale if they can't get 800 pre-orders for this by July 1st. Well, July 1st will be the early bird pricing. Now, I'm in on 3 of these. I was in on 4, but the price was higher than I thought, so I could really only swing 3. But this is the quintessential one of those holy grails for Centurions collectors. But we got to get 800 orders in by a certain time frame for them to even make it, or they won't make it. They don't even have first or second samples from the factory because the molds aren't made. They are waiting to see if there's enough interest. So far there's not. There's only like 100 orders out of 800. If you want this made, get your pre-order in. This week was a roller coaster of emotions for Motu collectors. The Wondar figure that has eluded 99.999999999% of collectors is being made in the Origins line, and it is being admitted by Mattel that it exists. Up until this figure, it was deny, 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 and now they admit. Now, this figure went up for pre-order Friday at 11, and I ordered it at 1 when it went back up, and I got it, and I was like, I got 3 of these. Now I can get me a Cold R2, I can trade it, and I got a cancellation note. But that was like at 8 o'clock at night when I got my cancellation. I was really disappointed in that, but a buddy of mine said, I got you covered, so it's no big deal. But still, why is it so hard to buy this stuff? Lack of confidence by Mattel, because the line is ending soon. There will be no Snake Mountain. This utter failure of Castle Grayskull for $39 at Targets right now across the country. BBTS sitting on, what, 300 of them? And how long till they discount theirs between now and 2025 to get rid of them. There will not be a Snake Mountain. It's impossible. Here we are in the 27th week of straight clearance for Motu at Targets. And here we are with $25 half price. The Battlefield Warriors. The vac metallized chrome version of He-Man. The armor He-Man. And then $15 for Stridor. I mean, come on. They can't give this stuff away. Fakers now. I mean, I think Fakers are almost pushing a year now, right? $16, and they can't get rid of. What are there? 20,000 of these still sitting at retail, clogging up shelves. All right, so we got a G.I. Joe live stream. A lot of stuff G.I. Joe this week, and I want to tell you that when they go on Instagram, it's telling you they're not going to tell you squat, and they didn't tell us squat. But we did get a picture of this, and if you're not in on Tiger Force or Duke, then you need to look at the details of what they do with Tiger Force, because it tells you what's coming. I think this is going to be one of the last two of the Walmart exclusive retro repaints, because they gave you the original guns. They gave you the original gun that came with the Duke in like 1983, 84, whatever. But it's pretty cool. I think it's going to get a retro repaint. I don't really care about Ram Cycle at Tiger Force, but Tiger Force is a cool color scheme. It took me 30 years to realize it. So we're getting this Stinger. I think it's like $35. You can only get it on Pulse. It's sold out. So if you're not like me, I have two vintage ones complete, so I really don't care if I spend $35 to get this. But if it was affordable, $25 at my Walmart, I'd buy it. But not $35 plus tax, plus $6 shipping or $7 shipping, whatever. No, I'm not in on it. I didn't care. But you do get an O-ring figure with it. Cool. I think the Fortnite creators designed the package for the Ram Cycle, by the way. Not impressed. Very disappointed. I think that the Baroness and that lame coil cycle was a much better presentation than what they're doing here. Whatever this chick's name is, I forget it. It's forgettable. She told this dude here, whatever his name is, that tampons are more important than Joe's, and that was his face. Did you really say tampons are more important than G.I. Joe's on our live stream to sell G.I. Joe's? Well, to sell renders or pre-orders to something for 2025. Alright, so I've been talking about a classified Serpentor for a while. We got some evidence, some shady prototype pictures of a Serpentor coming. So the last week's going to be on YouTube. They'll probably announce it in the last week of G.I. Joe June, which has been kind of lame overall. And then we'll probably get it in 2024, 2025. And the question is, will we get the throne? I think we'll get the chariot, throne, chariot, whatever. I think we will get it. It's pretty exciting. Alright, so getting into some Star Wars, we've got a 3-pack of vintage collection figures. You get an Obi-Wan, you get a Trooper, and you get a Jawa. So there it is, 3-pack. Don't know how people are excited for this Obi-Wan Kenobi set, but there it is. So we've got this NEDB droid for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's up for pre-order right now. Yak Face is bringing this to us. But it's kind of interesting in a way. It's one of those things, Black Series, 6-inch scale, but it's not super exciting, and I bet I'll find this on clearance down the road. So people are reporting that you're getting these vintage collection figures, the Reva and the Obi-Wan and the Darth Vader at Targets. So this stuff is showing up. I still think most people are more excited about the 5 POA figures for $10. Now, that's because those fly off shelves. Vintage collection no longer flies off shelves at $14, $15. $10 figures fly off shelves, and they don't care about articulation. So I guess it is true, kids buy the most toys, And that makes the Retro Collection the most successful of all of Hasbro's license. So I don't know what the Legend of Vox Machina is, but I thought it was kind of interesting because of the fact that we've got McFarlane Toys making these figures. They look pretty cool, and they kind of remind me a little bit of sort of a D&D vibe to it, so sort of some of the sorcery kind of stuff going on with it, but it still looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. These figures are going to be made by McFarlane. I don't know how they'll be distributed just yet, but it will be really interesting to see in the future. McFarlane's got the figures in a lot of different lines, and they do pretty good work, so this might be successful. So what do you think about this week's weekly news and review? What are you interested in? What got you excited? Or are you just kind of meh about everything coming out? Like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Hanger out.